Hello YouTube! Today in the Naughty Librarian I'm going over my November TBR list. Oh man, I read all of the spooky books in October. So many spooky books. So November I wanted to mix it up. I wanted to have like a lot of different genres going on here. I just wanted it to be like crazy again. And also I think I might have went too crazy. I have a very, very ambitious TBR. I'm horrified about what I've done to myself. There's so many books on it. But you know what? Go big or go home. I'm shooting for the stars. We'll see what happens. Before we get into the TBR, just a quick reminder, this Sunday, November 7th, is my next Wine Chat live show. That's 12 p.m. on Sunday, November 7th, my channel. Next time we were talking about Pinot Noir, and we're gonna talk about books, and it's just like fun. Come for the wine, stay for the vibes. So if you wanna come hang out, that's the date. But enough about all that, let's get into what I'm reading this November. First things first, I have the book of the month for the Blades and Bodice Rippers book club, which is Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan. So many words in this title. So this is I don't know, it's not necessarily a spin-off, but it's a different story that happens in the same universe as Percy Jackson, except this time we're dealing with the Norse gods, and Magnus Chase is our titular hero instead of Percy Jackson. And you know, it's Uncle Rick. His books are just so, like, delightfully wholesome that it makes you feel good when you read them. And I don't mean wholesome in a bad way, you know, they're middle grade books, and he's like, no, they're for kids, you know, but like they're so clever that I feel like adults like them too. Well, I like them and I'm an adult, but I'm really excited for this one. We're kind of doing a middle grade. We've never done one before, but I have been wanting to try out this series, and we're finally doing it. The live show for this one is going to be on November 20th, which is a Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be over on Mara's channel. And we'll give you more details on that sooner rather than later, but definitely it's going to be on November 20th. That day, we're going to have a discussion. It's going to be fun. Speaking of future events, I know I already kind of loosely announced that I was going to be reading Jane Eyre this month for Drunk Classics. However, my TBR is very ambitious. A lot of these books are chonkers. And I don't have it in me to read another chonky book. Jane Eyre is way long. It's a long book. I want to have like time to devote to that. And with all of these long books, I have a lot of stuff going on at work. And then also it's Thanksgiving, which is an American holiday. So I've got a lot of things going on this November that like, it'll make me miserable. So I figured if I'm gonna pull Jane Eyre off the schedule, I've got to replace it with something super dramatic as well. Because Jane Eyre, oh my gosh, the drama. So I needed something else that has the drama. And I think I've picked the perfect thing. Can't really tell really well from this cover, but I'm gonna read Macbeth by William Shakespeare. Am I right? The drama. I am so excited. Not only is this book considerably shorter, but it also has witches and betrayals and like crazy people and this ambition and also dudes in kilts. Like, it's got a lot of things that I'm really into in books in general. I'm not 100% sure when my next episode of Drunk Classics is going to be. It's going to be sometime in November. I will definitely let you guys know sooner rather than later, but it's going to happen and it's going to be a good time. And I'm excited about this one. I really am. And this book in general is a fancy little book I have. I really got into collecting really old books. Like, I still am. It's just they're harder to find now because for a while, library book sales, you guys, you don't even know. I got a first edition For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway. You get some finds, okay? And this one in particular, this is the new Hudson Shakespeare. I'm gonna be very gentle with it because it's a very, very old book. Like, look at the end pages. It's so pretty. And this was like printed and published in 1908. So it's very old. I don't think I'm gonna actually read out of this one. I have a knockaround copy somewhere in my house. I'll find that one and read along. But yeah, this one is just because it's pretty and I wanted to show it off. There you go, it's my channel, I'll do what I want. I also think I'm gonna read 1 Week to Claim It All by Adriana Herrera, mainly because it's short and I can just knock it out probably in a day. I just want something light and fluffy. And I have liked other things by Adriana Herrera. Like, they're good fluffy me time reads. I want to have wine and chocolate, be on the couch, and just relax. So this is gonna be a relaxing me time book. So this is Esmeralda and Rodrigo. So Esmeralda, her father dies and she inherits like his media empire. And it ruffles a lot of feathers, especially Rodrigo's, because he was like her father's protege, thought he was going to be inheriting this business. Also, AKA Esmeralda's ex-boyfriend. So there are some ruffled feathers here, and I believe in a sexy way. And of course, they're gonna have to spend a lot of late nights together, close proximity, workplace kind of romance, second chance romance. There's a lot of tropes here that I'm into. And yeah, this one is just gonna be like a fun little like me time book. I've already mentioned that, but that's, sometimes you just need one of those, you know what I mean? Also on deck, I have Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki. This is sent to me by the publisher, and there's not a whole lot of a blurb on the back, but what is on the back sounds delightful. This is a defiantly joyful speculative adventure set in California and San Gabriel Valley with cursed violins, Faustian bargains, and a queer alien courtship over fresh-made donuts. So, oh my gosh, it's got donuts, cursed violins, the San Gabriel Valley, which is like kind of right outside of Los Angeles, and it's just got a lot of things that I'm very intrigued by. I'm like, how do those all go together? Tell me a story, Rika Aoki. And that's all I know about it. I don't know anything more, and I'm kind of really excited going into it super blind, except for like the few things that have it in like the one little paragraph blurb on this. I'm loving that. I don't know, it just seems like it's gonna be a fun little romp, sci-fi romp. I'm into it. Also on deck, I have The Royals Next Door by Karina Howe. And this one I am reading purely for smutty delights. So we're following Piper. She's an elementary school teacher, she's a romance novel reader, she's a podcaster, she's just living her life, taking it day by day, doing her thing. And then, wouldn't you know, Next Door gets rented out, and they're like, ooh, who's renting it? Oh, royalty, prince and princess move in there, and they're like renting the house next door to her. So hey, media circus, she's like, oh my goodness gracious. And they brought along their sexy bodyguard, Harrison. So I'm assuming Harrison and her are just gonna bang the bejesus out of each other, and I am here for it. 110%. I also kind of like that she's into the bodyguard and not like the prince. You know what I mean? I don't know if this is a prince and princess like married couple or like siblings. I don't know yet, but I'm glad it's not like really a royal romance. We get so many of those. I'm like, yeah, give the bodyguard some love. I'm into it. And Karina Howe, A+ for smut. Like if you just want a smutty, delightfully book, pick up like literally anything by Karina Howe, and you're gonna have a good time. So yeah, it's gonna be a rom-com. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna have royalty and bodyguards and maybe peril, I don't know, but it's also going to be just smutty, and that's why I'm reading it. Why beat around the bush here? It's just going to be for smut. Also on deck, I have The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik, and this is the sequel to A Deadly Education, which is kind of controversial as far as books go. I kind of took it as a dark comedy where like, it's like, oh, it's funny because it's so terrible, and they're not like expressing that these terrible things are okay. It's funny because everyone can agree that these are terrible things. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but I did when I reviewed it. I just take it as a dark comedy, and it works for me. So this is also kind of dark academia. You're dealing with this school called the Scholomance, and people send their like magic children there to like learn magic. Except this isn't like a delightful magical place like Hogwarts. This is a place with literal monsters everywhere that will eat you if you're not careful. Like this is a danger school full of danger stuff. And we're following these group of kids who are just trying to survive. They're just trying to get by and learn a couple things. It's been a long time since I read the first book, so I'm totally blanking on the main heroine's name right now. I know, I'm also ashamed of myself. But basically, she's not really a bad person, but her magic sure is. She has like very dark magic running through her veins, and she's got to figure out something to do with it. Because like every time she tries to use it, just bad shit happens. She's like, I just wanted to like open a door, and instead I blew a hole in the side of the building. You know? That kind of magic. And she has kind of some allies now, especially the golden boy, Orion Lake. He's basically, oh my gosh, the fanciest, the chosen one that's ever been picked. And he and her kind of have like a thing a little bit. And they're basically just trying to get through graduation because there's a lot of, you know, trials to get through. to graduate and still not be eaten by monsters. So they're continuing on that story, and I'm just really excited for it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm expecting it to just be a dark comedy, and I'm super here for it. Also on deck, I have Into the Dying Light by Katie Rose Poole. Oh man, this is the finale of the There Will Come a Darkness series, and I am obsessed with that series. I tell everybody to read it because it's so good. It's about these group of people, and they're all part of this big prophecy. In this world, there was like the age of prophets, and they made all these prophecies, and then one day they all just disappeared, and everyone's like, where the hell did the prophets go? And they're like, peace out, we're gone. And they left this really like bad prophecy about the end of the world. It involves like 5 different people, and we've met them all, and they all have roles to play in this prophecy. Is it going to come to pass? Is it vague? Yes. How is things going to happen? There's also assassins and necromancy and just all kinds of craziness going on here, and I'm just in love with this series. The characters are so great. The action is so fun. I'm obsessed. Please read this series. If you have not read it, just read it. It's great. I'm obsessed. But it's the big finale, and I need to know how it ends. I need it. It's like a physical need in my body. So yeah, this is happening. It just came out last month, and I cannot wait any longer to read this. I'm also going to read Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. And this one is giving me all of the goth nun vibes I could ever want. So we're following this girl. Her name's Artemisia, and she's training to be a Grey Sister. And essentially they do like funeral rites for the dead, because if you don't do them, they come back and eat you. So it's a scary place they live in. One day, like, her convent gets attacked and she has to defend it, and in order to do that, she uses a holy relic. And in this relic, there is like a revenant attached. So it's like a spirit attached to this relic, and her and this like relic are now teamed up. I'm assuming in like magical ways. And so she has to, you know, save the world from, I'm assuming, flesh-eating monsters. But I'm into all of the goth nun vibes here. Please give me all of them. Margaret Rogerson is like an auto-buy author for me. I've loved her other 2 books. They're fantastic. And yeah, anything she puts out, I'm gonna read it. And I'm already expecting to really enjoy this. So fingers crossed it does not disappoint. I don't think it will. My chonky book for November is The Wisdom of Crowds by Joe Abercrombie. So this is the end of the Age of Madness trilogy, which is a spin-off of the First Law series, and it's all like a connected universe. And oh man, the end of the book before this one, everything went to shit. Like, oh my gosh, all of the characters are just in terrible places. So I want to see how that shakes out. And also, it's gonna be grimdark fantasy. Things are going to be brutal at times. Things are going to be like very much gallows humor, and I'm obsessed with it. I can't wait to see how this ends. I don't know if there's going to be more additions to the First Law universe. Maybe. I don't know. I'll read this and see. There might be like an opening for more books. Who knows? But I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All of these characters, I need to know what happens to them because so much shit has happened to them already. I realize I have said nothing about what this book is about, but considering it's part of like a very long series of books in a connected universe, the easiest way to describe this particular trilogy, it's kind of like what would happen if the Industrial Revolution started in a magical world. So now there's magic, but now there's also the Industrial Revolution happening. Magic is kind of fading into the background, and its death throes are violent. So I think that's a good explanation of it, actually. So yeah, it's a really interesting series. I highly recommend. Some lighthearted fun is The Heart Principle by Helen Hong, and oh man, I have really, really enjoyed this series so much. So this time we're dealing with Quan, and he was a cousin of like the first 2 characters in the series, and I am so obsessed with him. He is like the bad boy. He is a tattoo artist. He rides a motorcycle, but also like very sweet. He's like a chocolate lava cake, you know, hot on the outside, goo on the inside. That's Quan. And then you also have Anna. She's a professional violinist. She kind of is like a burnt out gifted child, essentially. She achieved like viral success on YouTube with this violin song and hasn't really been able to replicate that since. And they kind of just get each other on a different wavelength. They both just accept each other for who they are, which is kind of a rare thing in the world. And they're trying to make it work, but it's also just complicated. There's complications, but it's gonna be a rom-com. It's gonna be fun. I'm super excited for Quan. I'm so interested in him. He seems really cool. and I've just been dying to read this. I'm also going to read the Xhacks by Erin Sterling. And this one is just like for witchy vibes. Why not? I don't care it's not October anymore. I can read about witches anytime I want. It's a rom-com. It's kind of silly, but like in a fun way. So you have Vivian. She's a witch, and like, I don't know, her ex-boyfriend, they break up, and like it's 9 years ago. She gets really drunk. She's like, I'm casting a spell. And she's like, you know, later on going, oh, that was probably a bad idea. But like nothing seems to be happening. It's fine. Cut to 9 years later, aka now, Reese is back in town. That's the ex-boyfriend. And whoo boy, this curse is a happening. So wow, that spell worked in a lot of ways. So now they have to like work together to undo it. And with zany results. There's going to be zany magical things going on here. Second chance romance, forced proximity, also witchcraft. Like, it's got a lot of really fun things that I'm super interested in. And I've been hearing really great things about this, so I am super excited. I think it's just going to be delightful, you know what I mean? I just want fun books. Last up, I have Portrait of a Scotsman by Evie Dunmore. This is the next book in the League of Extraordinary Women series. I really enjoyed book 1. Book 2 was a little up and down, but this one I have really high hopes for. It sounds really fun. It's kind of like a sunshine and grump romance. You have Hattie, she's an heiress, she's an artist, she wants to be like a photographer, she wants to be a writer, she just wants to do art. And then she winds up married to Lucian, who is the grumpiest grump. He is also kind of a self-made man, a businessman, perhaps business rivals with her father? I don't know, drama ensues, and they have to like make it work. And I'm into it. Like, I love the cover, the body language is really great. He's gonna be Scottish. And so like, it's got a lot of things that I'm super into. I was really liking Hattie as a character in the other book, so I'm super excited for this one. I just wanted something historical and romancy, because I don't think I have any other historical romances in this like bunch for the month. Okay, so that concludes the November TBR. Like I was saying, it is quite ambitious. There's a lot of books on it, and a lot of them are quite thick and dense. So, whoo boy. I just have to like, you know, take it one day at a time and breathe. But I think I can get through all of them. Fingers crossed. If I don't, I don't. You know, why am I putting extra pressure on myself? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you got on deck for November? Are you trying to take it easy on yourself as well? I mean, take it easy on myself. I picked all these really thick books, but like part of them I picked just for vibes. You know what I mean? Are you having like some self-love books this November? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, I hope you guys can come to the next wine chat. We're doing Pinot Noir on November 7th. It's going to be really fun. Come for the wine, stay for the vibes. I'm excited for it. I've been having a lot of fun doing it, and I have a lot of fun chatting with you guys. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!